I'm Marilyn Cochran-Smith. I'm a professor at the Lynch School of Education and Human Development at Boston College. I wrote this book, Reclaiming Accountability in Teacher Education, with 8 co-authors who have turned out to be my closest teacher education colleagues. I've been a teacher educator for 40 years. For more than 20 of the most recent of those years, we've been operating in the United States according to several assumptions, all of which are problematic in certain ways. The first assumption, that teachers matter more than any other factor in what happens in the schools. If that's true, then the second assumption is that those who teach the teachers, teacher educators, are also critically important in national prosperity and individual success. The third assumption is that performance in the United States in education is inadequate. And we get reminders of this every time we hear announcements about the results of international comparisons, where student achievement in the U.S. falls below what we would like it to be. As a result of these 3 assumptions, which, as I've said, all of which are problematic, what we've been doing in the United States is holding teacher education accountable, with the assumption that if we do that, it will fix things. It'll fix teacher education, and it'll fix teacher quality. In the book, my colleagues and I took a very close look at what it meant to hold teacher education accountable, and we analyzed current accountability systems and policies. What we found is a fairly oppressive accountability system based on narrow outcomes, primarily test scores, based on a market-based set of assumptions about how to reform, and based on very little evidence that if we actually had these systems and policies in place, it would improve teacher education and it would improve teacher quality. So what we suggest in the book is not that we reject accountability, but that we reject that kind of accountability. And we propose an alternative, what we refer to as democratic accountability in teacher education. This is based on 3 big ideas. The first one is strong democracy coupled with strong equity. Strong democracy means more than people just voting or supporting the special interest groups that are going to create advantages for them. Strong democracy is about participation and communities and trying to figure out what the common good means in our currently very diverse and polarized society. Strong equity means more than just making sure everybody has access to good teachers, although that's important. But it also has to do with figuring out and then trying to change the reasons why some people didn't have access to good teachers in the first place. Figuring out what the systems and structures are that reproduce inequity and then trying to change those. The second big idea has to do with intelligent accountability. Intelligent accountability is based on the idea that those who do the work in a particular area, like teacher education, actually know something about doing that work, and for the most part, want to be better at it. Intelligent accountability starts with trust of the profession, not mistrust, and it leads to heightened trust, heightened professionalism, and hopefully enhanced outcomes. The third big idea is the idea of joint decision-making and joint deliberation. This means that everybody who's going to be involved in an accountability system ought to have the opportunity to participate. They ought to be in discussions about who is going to hold whom accountable for what and with what consequences. That means not just teacher educators themselves, but the teachers they work with, the school leaders they work with, the families and communities that are served by those schools, and even activists and other citizens groups. So all of those people would be involved in joint deliberation. We think that this kind of an approach to accountability is critical. It doesn't give up accountability. We all need to be accountable for our work. But we hope that all of you, no matter who you are, whether you're teachers, teacher educators, school leaders, whether you're researchers, parents, citizens, anybody who cares about the future of our democratic society and who cares about education and its role in that society, we hope that you'll join us in rethinking accountability and considering what it means for the future of our democracy.